Yes, this was a very important question, and we thought we have to do this. How to identify and intervene early. As I said, there are many parents and teachers who will argue, but they will agree to this point when they come to a consensus that identification is very important at an early stage to come up for a positive intervention plan. Yes, we have given along with this age-appropriate checklist, which we have created over a period of time and with the practice. We've again tried to keep it concise so that it's more easily understandable, and we have not tried to use more of the technical language. So the first checklist is for kindergarten. The second one is from grade 1 to 3. The third one is from grade 4 to 6. Now, what we would request you is that you need to observe a child's persistent behavior for at least 6 months, before you put a yes tick onto the checklist which we have provided. The scoring would again require that if you feel that there are, almost 50% is ticked, you need to realize that there is some gap and you need to go for the cause of it. If you realize that the ticks are almost 75 percentage, you definitely need to go and meet the professional on this. So I strongly suggest that definitely take an intervention. We would be coming to a point where we would be sharing few interventions which you can do at home, but don't wait long. Early identification and intervention. What happens, like I will share in the ideal plan with you people. Generally what happens is that there is an observation, by parents on a day-to-day level, that you see, you would realize that, oh, my child is not walking, but the other child is still started walking, and there's a speech delay. He's still not started speaking up, and it's been 2.5 years, but the others are actually speaking. So the first observation could be by the parents, also by the teachers and the carers. Uh, After you observe this, there is a checklist for parents and teachers also. So you need to fill this up. The third part would be screening and assessment by professional. Why screening and assessment? Again, as I shared, that screening is more child-centric. We are trying to recognize a profile where a child is having, what are his strengths and what are his weaknesses, and how can we actually, try and bridge those gaps. The third one is, the fourth one is intervention plan. Once you really know a profile of a child, this is his strength, this is his weakness, we are able to form an intervention plan directly directed to bridge the gap. That is why screening and assessment are important. A reevaluation is very, very, very important to realize that your intervention plan is targeted correctly on a child. So this is extremely important. In our day-to-day life, at our center, we're actually associated with many schools, and that's what we do is we actually train the teachers how to identify children and what are learning difficulties and everything, and then we give them the checklist. Then the checklists are filled by the teachers. When the extreme ones are sent for screening and assessment immediately. We don't wait. Okay, but on a positive note. And there are intervention plans targeted for a particular child. This is one of the examples. All right. So early identification. Why early identification and intervention? How does intervention in the process of screening, assessment, and reevaluation differ? I think I shared this, but there's a slide and I have to just go through it. So their intervention is more explicit, more systemic, more intensive, and more supportive. Right? That is why I've been after like screening and assessment and reevaluation. That is why I've been emphasizing on that. This is a brief, a picture of the screening which we use. And just if I give you a brief idea of the scoring, what happens is that the first one is the missing pieces. Missing pieces is a non-verbal test. Now non-verbal tests, none of the language is used. When you're screening for missing pieces, the child is falling into an average range. The word sounds majorly assesses the phonological awareness of the child. All right, and that falls into a below average category. Spelling is below average. Visual search is more of a processing speed, which we assess. That is again on the average range. The reading is on the below average range. So if I just give you an example, a child is intelligent, a child has good non-verbal skills, but he struggles with the phonological awareness. So let's look at the gap. So you need to focus your area, your intervention, your plans on emphasizing and teaching them phonological awareness in different ways or in a multisensory way.